Welcome back to Jaeger Racing, where we just can't leave anything alone. So, as I kind of said, I did a few upgrades to the engine, nothing crazy, but I was pretty much going to be done with it. Well, I'm changing that a little bit. Nothing over the top, but gonna throw on an AEM intake onto this thing. It's gonna allow it to flow a little bit better, in my opinion, look a little bit better, be a little bit bigger all the way around in a nice mandrel bent tube. So just wanting to eke out just a little bit more performance, nothing over the top, but definitely get a few more ponies out of the car and also have it looking a little bit better. And I know I said I wanted to keep it looking very stock, but at the same time, I am a car guy, so things like this happen. We change our minds. Things change. Life changes. It's what it is. So let's get started. Let's get the AEM intake on the car, and then hopefully it'll make a little bit more noise too. Here's the way the engine bay looks now. We have the GT350 intake tube. I can't remember the name of this AR thing. 3D print over the box itself. Have the hoses from the air oil separators or catch cans, whatever you want to call it, so on and so forth. Really don't like this thing. I think it's really ugly, so I might leave that off. I don't know yet. The Steeda coolant reservoir thing, some Mishimoto some hoses here. Overall though, pretty stock. Nothing too crazy. But we're gonna pull this out and we're gonna throw our AEM intake in, and it'll look a little bit more performance-y, have a little bit more cool look to it. So let's get started. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this off. Oh, nope, not first thing. I lied. A little bit of dampness in there. Ooh. All right. So, one thing is, it does cover all this stuff, which doesn't look the greatest either. This is just a terrible color. I don't like the gray. Wish it was black. Yeah, it needs to be black. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to install is going to be the heat shield mounting bracket. It's a little kind of almost L that we're going to mount to the frame rail itself. It comes with one really big bolt. That's one you're going to use, with a lock washer and a flat washer. Now we're going to be assembling our heat shield itself, which is basically just putting some of this on here, which basically allows you to push it up against something and it not cause any damage. This stuff is great not only for parts like this. I highly suggest that you just get some of it to have laying around. It's very nice when you're trying to do various things, such as if you're trying to use it to do radiator stuff, make heat shields in general. Great little product. Couldn't tell you what it's called, but you know, if you find out, it's amazing. Alright, so now you have your heat shield all done up, looking pretty. So this piece is actually a two-fold mechanism. It allows you to mount your pipe to this via the silicone couplers. Also, it has this nice curve that's going to allow air to flow in a lot easier and nicer to allow you to intake that much more air. We're going to be using the Allen head screws that they provided. Slide this puppy in there. Nice 4 mil. Obviously, make sure to use the lock washers and washers provided. Just remember, they are put inset into plastic, so you don't need to go too hog wild as you tighten them down. Alright, now I'm going to go mount the heat shield itself into the car, and we'll go from there. Now we're going to put one of the most important parts in, the filter itself. Oh crap. Hey! The benefit of having metal that flexes. You want to make sure that's really snug on there. The thing you never want to see happen is your filter fall off, because then you'll obviously ingest a bunch of dust. Especially, you know, if you're a Mustang, you might even ingest a person. One thing I actually really like about this kit is it comes with black hose clamps. Really nice feature. Alright, and last but not least, we're going to install this nice, sweetly sexy little pipe. And I'll make sure you put these on first, otherwise it just kind of sucks. One last thing, don't forget to plug in the math. Note to self, probably would have put this in before, so you could get to these Allen screws a little bit easier. Alright guys, it's pretty hot, but yeah. So we got the AEM Intake all installed. We had to do a few extra little mods because this is a GT, and I put obviously a GT350 intake part on it. One of the major components of that is because you're putting a throttle body adapter on, so on and so forth, you actually had to cut a little bit of the intake tube off just so it would fit nicely. Not a big deal. A few little cuts, good to go. But now we have our intake on. It's proven to gain, I want to say, about, it's either 11 horsepower or 18 horsepower and 11 foot-pounds of torque. Hold on, let's look. Alright, so it's actually supposed to gain 18 horsepower and 10 foot-pounds of torque. So that's a pretty substantial gain just from an intake. I'm pretty impressed by those numbers, and they are dyno-proven numbers, so you can trust them. Big thing is the intake is nice. Fits the engine bay nicely. I really like how it actually looks in the bay. Gives it a nice little look. All nice and spiffy. All ready to go. Ready to go hit the track some more. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed AEM Intake in the Mustang. I love it. Looks great. I'll see you guys next time.